Our next speaker is the Soch guy, Mohak, who runs a YouTube channel on fact-based videos. So after you, Mohak.
I am the Soch guy, the residential influencer here with Dr. Tutris, and I'm here to defend my tribe. There have been many unsubstantiated claims against us over the last 2 days. But on a serious note, I also come with some imposter syndrome because I feel like I don't take risks as much as some of the speakers have. I think they're doing a lot things that are much braver than what I've done. So which is why I want to stay on my side of the net and explain how I view the world, and hopefully that's valuable for some of you. So to begin with, is this clicker working? Okay. So to begin with, how many people know who he is? No, it's not me. But close, yeah. No. Getting there. Okay, this is great, but like I see 0 people, which is great. Okay, he's a YouTuber with around 2 million subscribers, 20 lakhs. And now, I guess we all know who Shekhar Gupta is, or most people would know, not Virat Kohli. But this is Shekhar Gupta's recent video on the Khalistan Amritpal Singh fiasco that's been taking place in Punjab. And it got around 163K views, so that's around 1.6 lakh views, okay? And now look at Nitish Rajput, who's the one that I explained, and he has 5.7 million. So that's 57 lakhs. That's 35 times more views than the person most of us know in this room. And the person who almost no one, maybe besides me, didn't know, got 5.7 million views. And I'm here to talk about this. So like, logically, it just makes no sense why this random person who we don't know has 35x. It's not a magnitude of 1 or 2x, it's 35x views. Shekhar Gupta has significant on-the-ground experience. That's his photo with Indira Gandhi. He has published a lot, like over the several years on Punjab. He has a large team at his disposal, and he has significant following on Twitter. So, which is what I want to explain, that people like Nitish Rajput is someone who people don't know. But why is that people watch me and people watch Nitish Rajput at a factor that you might not even expect as compared to quote unquote news journalists, quote unquote traditional journalism. And so that's me. Like I'm born in a privileged family. I don't have journalism background. I haven't spent much time in like the settings that a Shekhar Gupta would have. That's just me with a DSLR camera in an air-conditioned room. And now I have like YouTube following of 2 million subscribers. And the question that hopefully I want to answer is that why people watch me. And I think there are 4 answers. And the first is stories. And I feel people come to me because we tell stories and we're not telling information. And there's a big difference in that. If you're fighting the battle of information, it's really hard to get engagement. These are 3 examples of stories that you might have heard, like making a fact-based news article on LGBTQ issues is just not as powerful as what this movie achieved. And these stories are the ones that have been carried through years and generations. Saurabh yesterday spoke about how couplets were used as a means of communication well before there was writing. And that's the power of stories. So, and I see this now playing out in traditional media, where a lot of traditional media that was focused on just pure information, moving towards the story model. So this is ANI, which is basically tweets out information as it is happening. Some people may say it's selective, some people may say it's biased, but it's at least its intention is just to tweet out and share information. And recently they've started a podcast now, the same news organization. And I feel it's just an example of how news organizations are now getting into the story business and not only information business. The second factor why I feel people watch people like me is aspirational. And this is something that Harnit spoke about in her presentation. And the word is aspirational. So on the left, you see the demographics of my audience. So it's like heavily male, 81% male, and 44% 18 to 24 people. And I think she was absolutely right that a lot of influencers are being followed because they see some sort of aspiration influencer that they're watching, that they want to be like me or whoever, Nitish Rajput. I shared about my career aspirations. I was an economist. I look a certain way, I talk in a certain way, and I guess that found an appeal amongst the audience that came across my content. The third is, I think I had an obsession with my audience. I kind of knew who they are, and I knew how to deliver information in a package story that hopefully would resonate with them. So, and here are 3 examples. The first example is the first video I made, which is actually, I don't know how many of you know, but that's a news grab of demonetization. And the news anchor saying that with satellite, even if you put the notes underground, like RBI would find out. And we used it in a packaged meme. So we use that as a meme to kind of make our content engaging. The second thing is something that we've started doing over the last 6 months, which is we've started releasing shorts. So very similar to, I make long form content, so think of 15 to 20-minute video, and I started packaging some of that into short form content. And the third is just my personal motivation when I started the channel was that I felt the media isn't talking about the issues that I am passionate about, which is education, jobs, sex education, and a lot of societal issues that just aren't spoken about. And so this is one of the videos that I made on just government jobs. Like if you, any search query, or if you look at Google Trends in India, most students, especially like male students, are just obsessed with government jobs. And this remains one of my more popular videos, like just talking about like, what are the ratios of people who apply versus people who get, and does it even make a logical sense as a career option? And the fourth is that I'm obsessed about metrics. Now, Mr. Vikas, who was there yesterday, he is a great storyteller. And maybe he probably is as obsessed about his metrics because he shared that he is a teacher. So he's taking a class, a 3-hour class every day with hundreds of students. And if you're taking a 3-hour class, you have to be a good storyteller to engage. He has over several days and years, he's practiced the art of storytelling. I didn't. I hadn't done public speaking when I started the YouTube channel. So I had to be obsessed about, am I even delivering the right story? So the first graph that you see on the left is the retention graph that YouTube gives you. And 2 days ago, I spent like 2 hours just figuring out why was the retention on this video much lower than the average. And I think that's partly that explains some of my success, that I'm just trying to give the most engaging sort of story to the audience. And on the right is just seeing what other creators are doing. He's a creator that I love, James Yani, who makes like almost documentary type videos on societal issues that he's passionate about. And the video talks about mega churches in the US. And so thinking about, okay, what creative techniques are they using that I can adopt in my content? So this is a question like that kind of Abhinandan also like almost spoke about, which is like, is this fight between news and entertainment, right? And the question is news even meant to entertain? And I have a very clear answer, which is yes, news is meant to entertain. And I feel the reason why YouTubers like me have gained this audience is that we're just able to tell stories in a way that the audience wants to listen to. Like if you share information in a very dry way, it just wouldn't find the audience. And so that's where maybe some of my disagreement might come with Abhinandan, where I feel like even a Vidarbha farmer suicide story, you can make it engaging. If you package it the right way, if you share it in the right way. It doesn't mean that it has to have a meme, but it can have cultural context that can resonate with the audience. Okay. Okay, let me go to this slide before. How do I go back? Oh no. Oh, it's not perfect. Did I just? I can use the keyboard. Okay. And as an example, so tell me any guesses that if how many views would a video on explaining how a thermal power plant would get in India? Hindi content explaining how a thermal power plant works. And that's like why I want to give an example of like why news should be entertaining. So Khan sir is a 70,000, 40 million. That's 40 million views on thermal power plant. Just like that's 4 crores. 4 crore views on how thermal power plant works. And I want to share it, like, I think I just play his video. Is there audio? Oh.
आपका टरबाइन और ये जुड़ा हुआ है इस जनरेटर से। इस जनरेटर के दोनों ओर क्या रखा हुआ है? चुंबक है, उसके बीच में कॉइल को वो तेजी से घुमा रहा है। अब ये जो स्टीम आ गया रहता है, इसके अंदर जो भाप आई रहती है, वो भाप का टेम्परेचर 540 से 1000 डिग्री सेल्सियस गर्म रहता है। इतना टेम्परेचर रहता है और वो भाप इतना ज्यादा दबाव बजाती है कि टरबाइन के एक ब्लेड पर 250 केजी का प्रेशर लगाती है। इतना भयानक, सोचिए 250 केजी का मतलब 4 आदमी के बराबर। एक पंखा पर अगर 4 आदमी के बराबर इसे मारा जाए लोड, ऐसे कितना तेज घूमेगा। तो इतना
that was Khan sir explaining what a thermal power plant is. And so, which is why when people say, oh, news, like, I don't know how to package news, like if we can sell how a thermal power plant works to 40 million people, like I feel we can figure out a way to package news better. And that's probably what explains why there's traction in our audience. Now, the often counter argument could be that aren't these tools being used to propagate fake news? And that's absolutely right. There was an example yesterday that Rahul Gandhi gave about what was the fake news example that he made on the WhatsApp message. I think it was NDTV, right? Like what NDTV is. And if you notice, most WhatsApp messages that are fake news, they are not information, they are stories. They are stories, and this is why they have used the tools of storytelling so well. And which is why I feel if you want to counter fake news, it can't be countered by let's not use the same techniques and let's just provide very evidence-driven fact news. You have to counter with stories. And so my appeal to like a lot of traditional media is that they need to get into the business of storytelling and not be in the business of pure information. Now, what does the future look like? On the left is a photo of Bapu or Mahatma Gandhi in using Dali and wearing DG clothes. On the right is a video that I want to share.
थी अब गुलाम बनाना चाहता था। सरकार ने मशीन्स को रोकने की कोशिश की, वो बहुत ताकतवर थी। एक छोटा सा तोहफा जमा हुआ था, इन्होंने मशीन से लड़ाई लड़ने की फैसला किया।
Now this is a completely AI generated video. He's a YouTuber called Varun Maya, and he used AI tools to generate both the audio and the video, and which is why you can tell it's very awkward. And I feel the future would look very different where, like, even in close to like a year, I may actually not need to shoot my videos. There could be a virtual avatar of me who mimics me, and they can shoot the video. There is right now an Instagram account of a virtual influencer. So she has been completely created through AI, and she's managed to generate 100K views. And so like a question that I am often asked is, okay, with AI and like with editing and virtual influencers, what does future look like for people like me? And my response is not very different than what has happened to the entertainment industry for the last 50, 70 years. Like if you think about Superman doesn't exist. People know that, but he is so popular because of the story behind it. And so I feel the influences of tomorrow might be virtual. So there could be a case where if the audience is in Bihar, that virtual influencer starts speaking in Maithili. If the audience is in Telangana, that virtual influencer starts speaking in Telugu. I don't think that would change. But what would change is that your competitive advantage would just become storytelling. And the virtual influencer that tells the better story would get the most views. And so I hope the takeaway that I want people to understand is that if you want to succeed and get audience, you just have to become a better storyteller.